that's not particularly a good play from Peter. That's just a total. I don't know. The red mist has descended there because there's. He's well. He's lucky that Simon didn't see a picture card because he just said, "Okay, let's play."
And as a bookmaker, Peter Abella should understand the averages
pretty well. Well, he plays on the internet, and his wife looking a little bit... well, she's looking quite impassive at it all, but looked a bit resigned to the fate there, didn't she, a little bit? But yeah, Peter will play on the internet. He's a bookmaker, as you say, so he can work out what the average should be, or what would be an average hand. And
Simon's got an ace and deuce.
Yeah, it's an above average, and
Peter with a king 10's going all in, and Simon is going to call it, and he's standing right up, as is everybody almost everybody up in the gallery.
He's not in bad shape with this hand, Peter. It's not.
As you see, yeah, it's roughly a 50-50 shot.
Here's the flop.
Seven of hearts.
That'll help him.
Queen Jack. He's got a straight draw as well.
Yeah, that's what he's bought, an up and down straight draw. And he won't mind the ace coming off now if Simon wants to make this pair of aces. He'll be saying, pair that ace up then for him, because that gives him the nut straight, obviously.
So it's still roughly 50-50, but it's moved slightly into Peter's favour.
Yeah, well, he's got the king and the queen.
And there's the ace. He's made his straight.
That's what he wants to see. That's the only time he wanted to see that ace. He's made the nuts, and Simon's got no chance of redrawing at him. So we'll move on. Peter will double up. The river's inconsequential in this situation, but we're going to deal it anyhow. It's a king.
So Peter's hit the straight and doubled up, and that gives him a lot of breathing room. Now, the big question is, as the crowd cheers Simon on to get him up, but the big question is, will this breathing room change his game? Can he pick up his game at this point?
It'll give him some confidence. I mean, I think with the 9-3 that he raised himself all in with and didn't get called, that was a total loss of confidence. But this one's a good confidence booster for him. And you can see he's a bit happier in himself. I mean, look at his whole demeanour and his whole body language tells you that. Simon on the button with the Jack and 2, Jack of Hearts, 2 of diamonds.
He'll play that.
Says I'll raise with it.
5 pounds.
Now
and Peter with the queen
and
king.
There we go. See what he wants to do with this now. Confidently, he should re-raise him, but let's just see. The confidence is up, he'll re-raise him. If it's not, he'll probably just flat call him. Not much chance of him throwing it away, so let's see what happens.
He just calls.
He just calls him. I mean, not to know the player's got only a mediocre hand, but define your hand at this point. Double what your player's just raised you. But never mind. Here we go. He may get rewarded.
Well, he's hit the king, and he's got the best thing that could happen because Simon's hit the jack.
Yeah, but just imagine if you'd re-raise this in time and Simon had decided to make a play at you. Just imagine how much money would be out there now.
And now they've both checked. Now there's another jack for Simon, so he's checked himself into a world of trouble. Yeah. And now he's going to bet.
Yeah, this isn't good play because he's almost certainly going to get called, and Simon might just say, well, I'm all in. Or no, he's trapping him off as if he isn't too bothered, and really Simon will know the situation. So Peter needs to be very, very careful.
And it's an ace.
That might save him. Might save him wasting too many chips, but... we'll see. Let him make the play.
He checks.
Simon's going to bet enough to try and lure a call off him.
6,000.
Yeah.
Yep, it will.
Only about a third of the pot, that is. And Peter isn't even thinking he's going to say, yeah, I'm going to call you. He's not going to be happy. He really isn't going to be happy. Peter's saying, well, look, he got lucky. But you kind of let him get lucky in a way there, didn't you?
Exactly.
I mean, it's hard to criticise, but once again... it's all drifted away, and if he'd done what he should have done with that king-queen when Simon's raised, come right over the top, this wouldn't have happened. So here we can see, when he's first to act, Peter Abella, call 8, raise 8 and fold 10. He's folding quite often. He's raising and calling about equal number, but let's have a look at
and there's the response. 6 calls, just 2 folds.
Yeah.
So he's not taking them seriously, is he?
No, and then when Simon's first to act, it's going to call, raise, and fold very little. Well, 10 raises, there's quite a lot. And there's
Peter's
the response.
checking.
Check and raise twice, so he's just checking, and obviously the less raises and more checking, so it's totally impassive again, isn't it? One play, gets the chips sort of back into his corner, and then stops playing again. So he's paying the price for it. And look at his face now. It's gone back to how it was when he was in trouble, and he's drifting towards trouble again.
Called with the Jack 4. Simon with the 2-9. He's on the button with the Jack 4. And there's
no help for either player initially. But let's see if Peter can get a bit of confidence by picking the pot up.
And Simon folds.
Yeah, he kind of recognises it when he has to, but when he sort of a bit more comfortable, he just settles back again as if he's saying, well, yeah, I'm out of danger. Well, you're out of danger, but you've got to win the match. It's no matter keep getting out of danger, because you can't just keep getting out of danger. And Simon's wristwatch there looks more like Big Ben on his wrist, doesn't it? But, impassive as ever,
I just
Simon.
had this vision of Big Ben rising out of the wrist. You know? It's not quite that tall, but,
no, but
it is a big watch.
It is a big watch. It is a big watch. But, you know, all the onus is on Peter here to do the work, because Simon doesn't need to. Simon can sit back a bit. 5-6 suited for Simon.
He calls, and Peter with an ace-6 suited.
Wow. He's out of position with this, so he doesn't really want to let... He's letting a cheap
checks.
card come out. This really isn't good play, to be honest. He's got way the better hand, but he won't know where he stands. Of course, if they both flop a 6, then it's hog heaven for Peter, but there's not much out there for him to win, is there?
Pair of 6s. Would have been nice.
Now what does Peter want to do? He's picked up the ace flush draw now.
Simon bets.
He's going to certainly call him, but let's see what else he does. Might decide he wants to take a few more chips off Simon. He might just call him.
That's exactly what he does.
The only problem is if a blank falls and neither player hits, Simon's going to bet again if he checks to him, so he'll have the pot taken off him. Let's see. Well, there's the blank. Neither player improved, but Peter's first to speak, so what's he going to do? He checks. Now, Simon must know he can't win if he shows these cards.
I'm all in.
There you go.
He's going all in, and Peter folds.
I mean, you can call the plays, can't you?
Yeah.
I mean, it's really, I don't know. You know, it's easy sitting up here in the commentary box, but you can call the plays. It's just he's not defining his hand. He's not taking the initiative, and every time he's making a mistake, Simon's punishing for mistakes. Simon's reading the game a lot better.
And he's dropped back below the 30,000 chip mark. Simon is above the 130,000 mark. He's getting dangerously into that territory where he's got to get desperate
He's
again.
just drifting, isn't he? You know, he's just drifting. He's making too many calls and not enough plays, basically, and Simon's picking him off. Simon can afford to sit there and say every time he checks, I'm just going to say, well, your stack's in jeopardy, I'm all in. And obviously he did that with the worst hand. But Simon read the situation that he couldn't win if he just checked and turned the cards over. And 62 we move on to.
Peter suited Queen 5.
And he's starting to throw. Just look how he's putting the chips in. We'll talk about that very
As if
shortly.
he's giving them away.
Yeah, as if he's
Yeah.
giving them away. And that's exactly what he's doing. He's just flicking them in to the left now to the dealer as if to say, oh, it's your fault. Or he's not really blaming the dealer, but he really needs to get control. He's losing control again.
Suited King 7 for Simon. Two pair of jacks and a 10, 2 spades there for Simon as well. He's just hit a flush.
But Peter's just hit a pair of queens, and this will probably be a bit costly for him. He's definitely going to get a call. That's the least he's going to get.
Simon calls and raises 2,000 more, and Peter calls it.
Peter's just not thinking, is he? He's not thinking, well, what's he trying to do to me? He's just not thinking. He's just instantaneously reacting. He's in reactional mode all the time instead of making the action.
And
that might just about save him, because he'll think now, well, Simon must have some form of spade.
Do you remember what we were talking about? The highest hand in
it.
poker is?
We're all about to see it if Simon does show it, unless he just...
you may go way back to the start of the show, and we said it hardly ever comes up.
He's not going to call him. He seriously can't call him with 4 spades. He really can't call him. Well,
And there it was, and he's not going to show it.
Simon was hoping that he got a spade.
But we can tell you, that's a royal flush.
Nicely
10, jack, queen, king, ace in spades. The highest hand you can have in poker, and a real rarity in a heads-up game.
Still, that's the pressure in these arenas. You've got to be able to play and stand it if you want to win.